Welcome to our Evolutionary Biology lecture. Today, we are going to explore one of the most beautiful and perplexing phenomena in the natural world, kin selection. We will uncover the biological and mathematical secrets behind why animals, and even humans, are willing to sacrifice themselves for their families. Let us dive in. Let us start by thinking about a familiar situation to understand where this concept comes from. Imagine you are incredibly hungry with only one sandwich left. You would probably deny a stranger, but you would give it to your crying younger sibling without a second thought. This deeply ingrained instinct to help family is not just a human trait, it is a fundamental rule of nature. In the wild, we constantly see animals putting themselves in extreme danger to protect their relatives. For instance, a mother bird might fake a broken wing to draw a hungry predator away from her vulnerable chicks. This beautiful, self-sacrificing behavior is what evolutionary biologists call kin selection. Now that we have an intuitive grasp of family sacrifice, we need to define it scientifically. To truly understand kin selection, we first need to define a concept called altruism in the context of biology. In evolutionary terms, altruism occurs when an organism performs an action that decreases its own direct fitness while simultaneously increasing the fitness of another individual. But what do we mean by fitness? In this scientific context, fitness simply means the ability of an organism to survive and pass on its genes to the next generation. So an altruistic act is one where you lower your own chances of reproduction to help someone else reproduce. Building on the definition of altruism, let us look at how this works genetically. Kin selection is the specific evolutionary strategy that favors the reproductive success of an organism's relatives, even at a severe cost to the organism's own survival. Why does this work? It works because relatives share a large proportion of the exact same genes, inherited from common ancestors. Therefore, by helping a relative survive and reproduce, an organism is indirectly passing on its own genes to the next generation. This combined total of direct reproduction, meaning having your own babies, and indirect reproduction, meaning helping relatives have babies, is known as inclusive fitness. Understanding inclusive fitness leads us to a historical problem that once baffled scientists. You might be wondering why this concept is so incredibly important to the field of evolutionary biology. For a very long time, altruistic behavior was a massive puzzle that actually threatened to break Charles Darwin's entire theory of natural selection. Darwin's theory was based on the concept of the survival of the fittest, which implies that individuals should only act selfishly to maximize their own offspring. If natural selection only rewards pure selfishness, then worker bees who never reproduce and sting intruders to defend the hive, dying in the process, should have gone extinct millions of years ago. This glaring contradiction brings us to the elegant solution provided by our topic. Kin selection brilliantly solves Darwin's puzzle by showing that the worker bees are not actually throwing their genes away. Instead, they are passing on their genes indirectly through their mother, the queen, who shares their DNA. Without the concept of kin selection, we would have absolutely no way to explain the complex, cooperative societies of ants, bees, and even our early human ancestors. It shifts our perspective from the survival of the individual to the survival of the shared genes. Now that we understand the concept, let us look at its mathematical foundation. In the 1960s, a brilliant evolutionary biologist named W.D. Hamilton figured out how to express this beautiful concept of family sacrifice as a simple mathematical inequality. He realized that an altruistic trait will only evolve if the genetic benefit outweighs the personal cost. This gives us Hamilton's rule. R times B must be strictly greater than C. Let us define these variables. The variable R is the coefficient of relatedness, representing the fraction of genes shared by common descent. The variable B is the reproductive benefit to the recipient, measured in extra offspring. Finally, the variable C is the reproductive cost to the actor, measured in lost offspring. If relatedness increases, an organism is willing to pay a higher cost. If the benefit decreases, the behavior is less likely. With this formula in hand, let us see this with a concrete example. Suppose you see your full siblings drowning. If you jump in, you will drown, losing your chance to have exactly 2 children of your own. How many siblings must you save for evolution to favor your sacrifice? First, we identify our given values. The cost C is 2, representing your lost offspring. The relatedness, R, for full siblings is 0.5 because you share half your genes. We need to find the minimum benefit, B. We set up Hamilton's rule. R times B is greater than C. Substituting our values, we get 0.5 times B is greater than 2. To isolate B, we divide both sides by 0.5. This mathematical step scales the personal cost by how closely related you are. The result is that B must be strictly greater than 4. Physically, this means your sacrifice is only favored if your siblings go on to produce a combined total of 5 or more children. This mathematical result from our example perfectly illustrates a famous biological principle. Since B must be strictly greater than 4, if the siblings you saved only produce exactly 4 children, the genetic payoff exactly equals your cost. In that case, the trait for altruism does not increase in the population. This perfectly illustrates the famous quote by evolutionary biologist J.B.S. Haldane, who quipped that he would gladly lay down his life for 2 brothers or 8 cousins. Your genes will happily sacrifice your physical body, provided the math results in a net increase of those exact same genes in the next generation. Now, let us apply this logic to a real-world biological observation. Consider Belding's ground squirrels. When a hawk approaches, a squirrel may give an alarm call. This costs the caller exactly 1 expected future offspring, so C equals 1. The call saves the colony, resulting in a benefit, B, of 6 extra offspring. Will the squirrel sound the alarm if the colony consists only of first cousins? For first cousins, the relatedness, R, is 0.125. We calculate the left side of Hamilton's rule by multiplying 0.125 by 6. This gives a total genetic payoff of 0.75. We then compare this to the cost of 1. Because 0.75 is strictly less than 1, the inequality is false. The genetic payoff is simply too low to justify the risk of being eaten. Therefore, the squirrel will not sound the alarm for mere cousins. Let us see how changing the social context changes the animal's behavior. What if the surrounding squirrels were full siblings instead of cousins? The cost, C, remains 1, and the benefit, B, remains 6. However, the relatedness, R, for full siblings is now 0.5. We recalculate the inclusive fitness benefit by multiplying 0.5 by 6. This gives us a genetic benefit of 3.0. We compare this new benefit to the cost of 1. Since 3.0 easily outweighs the cost of 1, the inequality is now true. This perfectly explains why field biologists observe that ground squirrels are significantly more likely to give alarm calls when they are surrounded by close immediate family rather than distant relatives. The math dictates the behavior. To visualize these genetic connections, let us look at this family tree diagram. Here we see a central individual, labeled as the actor, connected to various relatives. The arrows represent the coefficient of relatedness, or R, which we used in our calculations. Notice the arrow pointing to the full sibling. It shows an R value of 0.5, meaning they share half their genes. Moving down, the half-sibling has an R value of 0.25. Finally, the arrow reaching across to the first cousin shows an R value of 0.125. This diagram clearly shows how genetic relatedness dilutes as you move further out in the family tree. As the R value drops, the required benefit to justify an altruistic act must increase dramatically. To wrap up our lecture, let us review the most important ideas we have covered. First, kin selection is a profound evolutionary concept that beautifully explains the existence of self-sacrifice and cooperation in the natural world. Second, we learned that organisms strive to maximize their inclusive fitness, meaning they care about the survival of shared genes, not just their own direct offspring. Third, Hamilton's rule provides the exact mathematical boundary that dictates when an organism will act selfishly and when it will act altruistically. Ultimately, kin selection proves that the deepest bonds of family are not just emotional, but are hardwired into the very fabric of our DNA. You now have a solid understanding of the evolution of altruism.